viewers, to a new episode of Glamour Woman. In today's episode, we'll be focusing on horse riding, since it's one of the great, let's say, hobbies that are actually women are achieving great achievement in this hobby, and of course, a great connection between the horse and the rider is something really amazing. So with that, we're going to head to an introduction to know more about our guests, and then we'll be back.
Sara Bouhamdi, 8 years in the equestrian and training field, certified horse rider by the British Horse Association, intensive courses, participation in many endurance tournaments. She ranked 8th in the women's race in 2016 in Kuwait, participated in many camps and competitions such as shooting from horseback, turkey jump ability endurance, Britain jump and dress, British Indoor Championship for Dressage, second place participation in the Marathon Organizing Committee.
Viewers, we would like to welcome our guest with us, Sara Bouhamdi. We're really happy to have you here today.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here today, and that you give me this opportunity to talk about myself and about the sport that I love.
Of course, when it comes into horse riding, it is something really amazing to see, let's say, women actually exploring and having great achievements. But of course, maybe we'd like to tell the audience more about yourself, about Sara, and how did you find yourself in this hobby?
Actually, I'm with horseback riding 9 years ago,
yes.
And I took the training field with the horseback riding, and I took intensive courses in Kuwait Riders Academy with Captain Mohammed Al-Kandiri,
yes.
And I did many classes. I ride, let's say, for approximately, or it's more than 1,800 hours of classes, okay? And also I dealt with horses in the stable, and I did many things. I studied many things. I deal with horses and also with many people, many kinds of people. And for myself, my big achievement is within 6 months, I got this experience dealing with horses and with the riders and
yes.
training.
Yes, it's really great to hear such a great, let's say, experience you gain out of, let's say, the 9 years, mashallah, which is something really, of course, long when it comes into that, comparing it with everyone else. Talking about what you learned and talking about all of these great, of course, achievements that came within the 9 years, educating yourself when it comes into that field. They always say it is really hard to manage and ride a horse, rather when it comes into also having a communication between you and the horse. Tell us more about that experience.
When I start in horse riding, okay, I took all the opportunities and all chances, and I put all my efforts to gain information and to gain everything about riding. And I did riding too many hours, as I told you before. And I had some challenges. I'm a mother and I have a social life.
Yes.
I have work, but I took every time, I took part from my time for the horse riding.
Yes. So is it really, let's say, difficult to manage, of course, when it comes into life obligation and trying to maintain your hobby?
It's something we say about balancing, okay? I try to balance my social life with my hobby.
Yes.
And it's a lifestyle at the end, yeah.
Yes, I really do agree with you because it is a lifestyle. Once you start, let's say, doing the horse riding and experiencing that, you could never ever take it away. When it comes also into, let's say, the idea of women is obligated to have lots of things in life. As you just mentioned, you are a mother, therefore you are a wife. And of course, when it comes into life, you are, let's say, an employee or somebody, let's say, who's associated in social life itself. As a woman, you live in a really hectic life, trying to manage your personal life and, of course, your family. And people sometimes say that a woman's time is actually, let's say, associated to her, the family, more than herself. How do you agree on that? Like, do you agree, or a woman can actually do and achieve lots of things?
A woman can do many things.
Yes.
As you said, and as I told you, that woman is a mother, employer, she has a social life, okay? But if she has something she she will manage to do it.
Yes.
So that thing, what happened to me, I tried to manage
Your time and, of course, your effort when it comes into, of course, dealing with your hobby and what you're passionate about. Tell us about the experience with the horse. Like, how did you find it? Was it something scary at the beginning and it started to become normal as, let's say, the time goes?
At the beginning, it was a little bit difficult for me. But as much as I stayed with horses, I gained the confidence to deal with horses. And I went to many camps, horse riding camps in England, in Turkey, and in many other countries. And I gained this experience.
And it's really great to hear about, let's say, your experience when it comes into horse camps abroad Kuwait. It is, of course, different when it comes into, let's say, the type of horses, like the ones you deal with here in Kuwait, and of course the ones that you actually, let's say, associate when it comes into abroad. Tell us about it. Is it really different? Like, you are, let's say, been doing this for 9 years. Can a horse rider deal with any kind of horse, or there's only a connection between you and the horse that you're riding here in Kuwait?
A good horse rider can deal with any horse. If you took many time with horses,
Yes.
And you spend many time with horses, it
Yes.
means that you will deal with different types of horses.
Yes.
So you will gain the experience to deal with different kinds of horses. And we travel to get more experience about horse riding in other climates.
Yes, yes, and it's really a great experience and a great, let's say, achievement to add to the record itself when you're, let's say, abroad and dealing with different horses. Tell us about the types of horse riding that you are, let's say, dealing with. What is Sarah best at doing when it comes into horse riding?
As you know, there are different types of horse riding.
Yes.
We have basic riding, we have show jumping, we have endurance,
Yes.
we have horseback archery, we have horsemanship, and many other different fields. For me, I'm specialized in the basics of riding, and I do endurance riding and horseback archery.
Yes, and is it difficult, to be honest, when it comes into, let's say, horse archery? You have to deal with the horse, and you have to deal with the pack itself, and then you have to deal with the archery. Like, it's more of, let's say, three, let's say, work at the same time. Mashallah, like, how do you manage to do it? Is it difficult?
For a beginner rider, it will be difficult. But if a rider come and he said, I want to specialize in show jumping, or I want to do show jumping, okay? We will take him step by step, and he will do the basics.
Yes.
And after he finish
The place itself, the let's say classes that you give when it comes into horse riding and dealing with the horse.
after he's ready, he will be ready for example, show jumping or endurance.
Yes, and does it take time for somebody to learn? Like, sometimes we hear that there is a specific hour in classes for a person to learn horse riding, but is it really, like, does it take for years, or it's fine? You can let's say, learn horse riding within 5 to 10 classes.
It takes time, and it needs patience. Okay, The more you ride, the more experience you get, and the more
Flexibility you get with the horse itself.
flexibility you get.
Yes. So dealing with the horse, like I can see now there are some riders with specific horses. Like, is there a specific horse for each rider, or can somebody, let's say, purchase a horse and maintain it here?
We have many horses and many levels of the horses. So when I assign a horse for a rider, I see what level the rider is, and I give him the horse according to that level.
Yes, and Sarah, when it comes into kids, like we've always been associated that kids are really, let's say, more of, let's say, people who really loves to catch and grab everything when it comes into also horses. When it comes into teaching them and giving them classes, like, do you actually, let's say, agree that it should be in a certain age that is really early for them to learn?
When we talk about kids, we can say they can start from 4 years old. Here in Kuwait Riders Academy, we accept kids from 4 years old. But the other ages, all ages, they can
Are
ride.
accepted, yes, and can ride. When it comes into, let's say, being a horse rider and coaching, do you find yourself in that field? Is it really difficult for a person to, or is it, let's say, more amusing for you to be a rider or to be a coach? Where do you see yourself?
I'm a trainer, and at the same time, I'm a rider.
Yes.
I do compete in endurance, and also I have my classes, I have my riders, and I find myself more in training.
Yes, yes, and it's really great to see that. Of course, when it comes into your achievement, maybe we'd like to tell the audience more about you, Sarah. Let's say a background about what did you achieve so far when it comes into horse riding.
As I told you, the big achievement for me is that within 6 months, I gained a big experience in dealing with horses, with people, different kinds of horses, different kinds of people, and many, many, many things in 6 months.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I am now in this place. That thing gave me the confidence to compete in endurance riding, or to do horseback archery,
Yes.
or to go in any other field.
Yes, of course, it's really glad to, let's say, to see that achievement and to see that, let's say, dealing with the audience, dealing with the horse itself. We've always heard that horses are really sensitive, and not everyone can manage to, let's say, control the horse or have that bonding and connection. Tell us more about that. Like, is it really true that the horse is a really sensitive creature?
Yes, horses are very, very sensitive. What you feel, it will go to the horse directly. So if you are calm, the horse will feel calm. If you are maybe stressed, the horse will be stressed, okay? If you are scared of something, the horse will feel the same. So you have to be confident and to deal confidently with the horse.
Yes. So basically, it is a sensitive creature, and it really needs to be, let's say, read when it comes into his emotion. And a person should actually maintain and to know how to manage himself. I think a person or a rider cannot ride the horse if he is angry, or if he is having, let's say, more of a problem when it comes into that matter. Like, do you agree on that point?
Sometimes when I'm not feeling good, I go and ride horses. I feel very good, okay?
Yes.
But for the riders, when they come and they take, for example, one course of riding, here in Kuwait Riders Academy, we give them grooming and tacking. And these two classes, it is a chance for the rider to deal directly with the horse.
Yes.
And to create a bond between the horse and the rider.
Yes, it's really great to have you here with us, Sarah, with great knowledge that we gain, of
Thank
course, out
you.
of this experience. We wish you all the best luck when it comes into your achievements in horse riding, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
And of course, dear viewers, we're going to continue our episode, so stay tuned with us.
Nadia Al-Kendari. She started in 2016 when she was 7 years old. Entered the training of a flat, jump, dressage, tackling, and gramming. Have a lot of intensive private courses with one of the top captains in the field. participated in different training camps and competitions like Turkey Jump, Britain Jump and Dressage, Russia Dressage. She achieved a lot. British Indoor Championship for Dressage, 3rd place, trainer for levels 1 until 4 plus archery, participation in the Marathon Organizing Committee, Academy Organizer.
And we're back, dear viewers, to continue the rest of the episode with us. We'd like to welcome our second guest, the rider, Nadia Elkender. We're really happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to also.
Nadia, when it comes into horse riding, tell us more about yourself and your background. Since when are you, let's say, practicing this hobby?
Actually, I've been a horseback rider since 2016, and it's almost 7 years now. It was, and it is still now, a great experience. It was a little bit difficult at the beginning, and later on, like, I had intensive courses. I've been through lots of interior and outside courses, like a summer camp, and I improved my skills. So it's been nice, and I'm still working on it.
Yes, and how do you find it so far? Because sometimes people tend to say that it is something really difficult to manage, let's say, horse riding and dealing with the horse itself. Like, is it something really difficult?
It is at the beginning, because when you enter a new field, you have to know all the basics so you can get used to deal with the horses easily. So in our academy, at the beginning, we take like a basic classes. They teach us the horsemanship, how to deal with the horse, so it gets easier for us when we ride the horse, how we build the relation between us and the horse.
Yes, to have a great bond between
Exactly.
you and especially the trust bond between you and the horse. Now tell us about the classes here in the academy. As we just heard that there's a grooming class that actually, let's say, associates you more with the horse. Tell us about that experience.
At the beginning, as I said, like when you see the horse, it's like a
You
big
get really
animal,
scared, yes.
and you get really scared from the size, and you don't know the reaction of the horse. So they give us like a course specialized to build the bond with the horses through the grooming and tacking, how we come close to the horse and we touch it and all this kind of stuff. And the horse at the same time will trust the rider more.
Yes.
So when we ride the horse, he won't give us a sudden reaction while riding.
I was just passing by, let's say, a moment ago, and I was looking through, let's say, the window itself to look at the horse, and suddenly I saw the head of it, let's say, coming out, and I was really shocked at the beginning. So it has to be, let's say, as you just said, when it comes into the experience, dealing with it for the first time, it is something really scary because, as you just said, it is a huge creature that actually has its own, let's say, things to do, its own movement, its own experience itself when it comes into dealing with it itself. Tell us more about the hours you spent, because we've always heard that it is really hectic. Let's say our life is really hectic. We live in a really busy system. In order for you to have time to come and practice this hobby, you have to sacrifice a lot, okay? So tell us about the time you spend here. How many times do you spend during the academy for training?
In our life, we have like the personal life, and I have work also. So
Yes.
at the beginning, it was a little bit difficult because I have to manage the balance between these three
Aspects. in
aspects.
life, yes.
Exactly. So I try to maintain it, try to focus. At the beginning, I used to focus on the horseback riding because, as I said, you need to have like intensive courses to improve your skills. And later on, I was able to manage actually the timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how long does it take for you to, let's say, practice horse riding? Is it an hour a day, or is it, let's say, 45 minutes when it comes
For the class, usually we take like 45 minutes, and With the intensive courses and the summer camp, we used to take like around 3 hours.
3
You can
hours
say
in,
per
let's
day.
say, the day itself.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us more about, let's say, rules when it comes into, let's say, a person who wants to become a horse rider and he's coming to the academy. Is there a specific rule for a person to know more about in order for him to come and apply for the academy? Like, let's say, for instance, do they come on time for the class or before the class within minutes?
Yes,
and
of
so on?
course. They
Yes.
have to come early. Like if they have a class at 7, they have to come at 6:45. So he has to be calm when he rides the horse. Like it doesn't have to be in rush. Like to come and jump on the horse, and because the horse will sense all the feelings that you have.
Yes. Nadia, sometimes people always say, not sometimes to be honest, it's all the time, that this kind of, let's say, hobby is expensive. You need to have a specific gear, let's say the boots, the hat, and so on. Tell us more about this part. What do you need as a horse rider in order for you to ride the horse? Do you have a specific or a special equipment?
Yeah, of course. We should have like a riding boot, the riding trouser also, the gloves, the helmets for your safety, and you can join.
Yes, and if let's say a person maybe let's say he didn't purchase the boots or the trouser, is it okay for them to come and train in what is kind of comfortable for them, or it is obligatory for a person to actually buy?
No,
this
actually,
gear?
it has to be because for his own safety,
For his
especially for the helmet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nadia, sometimes people, of course, when they think about horse riding, the first thing they think about is the falling from the horse. Like, tell us about this experience. Is it something, let's say, important for a person to think that if I ride a horse, I will fall? Like, or no, it is not necessarily to be so.
See, falling off the horse is like something we can say a little bit common, but we just when you come and you enter the class, don't just ignore the idea. If you keep it in your mind, it will definitely happen. In the basic classes, we give you like the skills to have a perfect seat and a perfect balance. For any sudden movement from the horse, you will be able to balance yourself and avoid falling off the horse. Yes.
And Nadia, when it comes into, as I'm seeing now, one of the, let's say, riders, there's, let's say, more of a step for you in order for you to ride the horse. Like, is it actually available for everyone, or the horse rider, that the one who is actually used to riding the horse, doesn't need anything to help him up to, let's say, sit on the seat itself?
Actually, we always use that piece to jump on the horse because it will be much easier for us to jump on, and also like for special people that are overweighted, so it won't move the saddle to the left side when he jump on the horse.
Yes. Now, this is a kind of important thing to highlight. When it comes into horse riding, is it, let's say, precise on a specific weight, a specific people, or anyone can actually join, and horses are available for everyone?
Of course, like usually we accept like 85 kilo and less than that.
Yes.
And through the classes, through the exercise, of course he will lose weight.
Yes.
And it will be much easier for
Yes,
him.
and
Yeah.
this is a really important part. They say that when you ride a horse, all of your body gets to be very intense, and you get really tired, let's say, easily after the class. Is that really true?
Yes, the horseback riding, as it has a physical and emotional impact. Like when you jump on the horse, when you do special movement, like in the class we do have walk, canter, trotting. This all will build the muscles easier.
Yes, it will build
Okay.
the muscle
and the
easier.
balance and the core muscles, and it's also like a cardio, we can say, when you do the tacking also.
Yes.
When you lift the saddle and you put it on the horse and you
Yes.
do all this kind of stuff. So yes, it has an impact.
Yes. So dealing with horse riding from 2016 until now, what did you, let's say, experience so far? Did you, let's say, I've heard from Sarah that there is an archery, let's say, lesson when it comes into throwing it on the horse, on the back of the horse. Like, did you manage to do that so far, or you're still, let's say, working on it?
I'm still working on it, yes.
Yes.
And inshallah, this is my target for now.
Yes.
I used to have classes, flat work, jumping, dressage, and I took it here, like in a summer camp in Kuwait and outside in Turkey, England, and Russia also.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is something, let's say, challenging. It is a very beautiful hobby, very beautiful sport, and actually, if we want to say it out loud, with a very, let's say, great impact when it comes into associating yourself with different kind of creatures, with the audience itself. It has a really, let's say, a specific audience. Not everyone, let's say, managed to maintain and understand this kind of beauty when it comes into this kind of sport. Now, dealing with kids, like, have you, let's say, managed to see kids' reaction when it comes into the field itself, when it comes into the track itself? How do you find that experience?
Dealing with the kids needs to be like you have to focus, give more extra focus
Yes.
on them, because they should not even follow the rules. They have to focus with you. Like the kids usually when they see something, they hear
They
a
get
sound, they will
distracted
just
immediately.
exactly.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
it's
yes.
little bit harder to teach them, but we enjoy it so far.
Yes.
Yes.
Nadia, it was really a pleasure having you here with us. We really gained so many information and knowledge. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best luck when it comes into horse riding.
Thank you.
And with that, dear viewers, that was our interview with our guests. We're going to continue the rest of the episode, so stay tuned with us.
Hello, welcome to our segment. We will talk about today the handicrafts. Handicrafts are known as traditional industries, and they are industries that depend on the hand, or they may rely on simple tools only without the use of modern machines. And they are among the skills that can be learned and practiced with high professionalism. Kinds of handicrafts. First one, embroidery. It's a handicraft that requires creativity and experience, and its products include dresses, inscriptions on fabrics, and inscription of copper plates. Two, sculpture. It's one of the oldest arts at all, and it also requires a lot of creativity, focus, and mastery. Sewing. It's the process of attaching clothes, leather to each other by resorting to use of the needle and thread. Sewing is also known as a craft that requires a lot of skills and experience to transform fabric into beautiful and varied designs. Soap industry. Soap is one of the important industries that cannot be dispensed with, as there as in the home without soap. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, body and hair. The last one, crochet industry. The art of crochet is a handicraft that is used to make clothes and bedspreads. Wool threads, silk threads and cotton threads are also used.